Zombie Palpatine. What? Zombie Palpatine. Did I see that right?
Yes.
Why are there zombies in Star Wars?
Not zombie Palpatine. It's just Palpatine. He didn't die, apparently.
He looks undead.
Yeah, he does. It's a Sith power that's just brought out of nowhere.
Sith powers are bullshit. Welcome back to the LAPcast. We're gonna talk about Star Wars Episode 9 and how much it sucks. Zombie Palpatine! How does this man survive falling down a chute being attacked by...
I don't know.
How come he survived that, but the Silver Stormtrooper didn't?
Oh, because she just died. I don't know.
Why didn't Palpatine just die when he was getting struck by Force lightning?
I don't fucking know. Because it's bullshit. It's desperation and bullshit.
Just like this movie. While I'm not a big fan of Star Wars in general, I will say that the original trilogy still had something of a trio. You know, Han, Luke, Leia, they all respected and liked each other well enough. I didn't believe Poe, Ren, Rey, and Finn liked each other that much because didn't Rey meet Poe for the first time in the last movie?
Yeah, at the very end of it.
Yeah. And throughout most of this movie, they're just arguing with one another. They're bickering. And while friends do bicker, this did not...
I believe Finn and Poe are friends.
Yeah.
I do not believe Poe and Rey are friends.
No. And I believe that Finn wanted to be more than friends with Rey, but they just dropped that plot point altogether by the end.
I fucking hate that. That's just J.J. Abrams' mystery box at its worst. No, Palpatine's J.J. Abrams' mystery box at its worst. But the whole Finn being like, oh, I gotta tell you something, and then he just never does. The whole movie.
We don't even get anything at the end. No, it just ends on Rey looking in the Tatooine sunset. Disappointed. This movie disappointed me. Is it worse than The Last Jedi, though?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. It is way worse than The Last Jedi. Because The Last Jedi, whether you agreed with what it was trying to do or not, tried to add to things, tried to expand upon things, tried to explore new ideas. It tried to be something different than what we already had. And this film says, fuck that, and let's just bring back a bunch of old stuff. No, it doesn't have to make sense, let's just do it.
Do you realize that the whole thing where Ghost Luke was lifting the plane out of the water?
Yeah, it was the
that.
First time when I saw this movie on Thursday night with Jacob, I even leaned over to them at that. I was like, really?
Yeah, that was basically mirroring.
That was literally he literally looked like Yoda did when Yoda did that in Empire.
Yeah, that's this trilogy's biggest weakness. They played it too safe. They banked on nostalgia.
No, this is the problem with this movie specifically. Because, again, say what you want about The Last Jedi, it tried to deconstruct and do something new with it. And J.J. Abrams doesn't want to do something new with it. He just wants to do the same thing.
You notice a good chunk of the movie is also damage control from the last one?
Oh, it's so damage control. This whole movie feels like damage control for The Last Jedi.
Let's just go back to the beginning, and dissect it bit by bit, and see what went wrong. Okay, so it starts with Kylo Ren. Already it has a point in my favor.
No, it starts with a title crawl. Like all Star Wars movies that aren't Star Wars stories. And the first line of the title crawl is, "The dead speak."
So he is Zombie Palpatine!
No, and then it's like, the galaxy has heard a transmission from what sounds like the late Emperor Palpatine calling for revenge. And then I just looked at Jacob when that line passed, and I was just like, what?
He is Zombie Palpatine!
When did this happen?
It happened in the year between The Last Jedi and the rise of Bitchwalker.
That wasn't set up at all.
No.
Anywhere.
No. It's as Jeremy said, there's going to be a book.
No, there needs to be like 5 fucking books to explain this movie, because I don't fucking get it.
Yeah, no, I hate it.
Where did Palpatine come from? Where did he get the fleet?
He was building it for years, obviously. Ever since his defeat at the hands of Luke and Vader. He's been working on it in secret, in an unreachable, unknown part of the galaxy that can only be approached by getting a little pyramidal-shaped GPS that takes you directly to it.
There is not a single piece of dialogue that actively tries to explain this.
I feel like it was trying to do so. Had this movie been at 4 hours, like it seemed like it was supposed to be.
It feels like it's 2 movies that are just smashed into one.
They should have done something better. Because this movie is 2.5 hours?
Yeah, it's just shorter than Attack of the Clones.
Make it 3 hours then. To explain some of this shit.
To give us some give us a few pieces of dialogue. Do something.
What? It's not that simple?
That's too simple.
Oh, yeah, she's right. Yeah, off to the side doing her nails, our lovely associate Isara Iwasaki.
Yep.
She has a good point. That's too simple. That's just too easy for them to do, isn't it?
Yeah, because nobody wants to make life easy. You're supposed to weave through all these things to find the hidden meaning.
No, this is just a fucking J.J. Abrams storytelling trope, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's like he sets stuff up without setting it up. Didn't he do this in
He did this in The Force Awakens, but it kind of works there because The Force Awakens is the first of 3. The next 2 didn't do anything with it.
Didn't he do those Star Trek movies?
Yes, he did.
Didn't he do stuff like that with those?
Oddly enough, it was like those actually feel very tame in comparison.
Yeah, so who is at fault now? Rian Johnson or JJ?
Kathleen Kennedy.
Who's Kathleen Kennedy?
The producer and head of Lucasfilm.
Who clearly knows nothing about making a Star Wars film.
No, here's the thing. Like, they're trying to make her... You know Kevin Feige?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to essentially make her to Star Wars what Kevin Feige is to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And here's the reason the Marvel Cinematic Universe works in comparison to the new Star Wars stuff. Is because...
They're both owned by Disney.
No, Kevin Feige had an idea. He had a vision for where he all wanted it to go. It was attached to every project in a way.
Wasn't the case with Star Wars.
No! Kathleen Kennedy did not give a fuck. She immediately, when they got it, she gave each of the 3 films to a different director. JJ was going to do the first one, Rian Johnson was going to do the second one, Colin Trevorrow was going to do the third one. I'm so fucking happy Colin Trevorrow didn't get to do the third one, because Colin Trevorrow's a fucking hack. But still. And they set up no idea for where they wanted it to go. She was just like, here, all 3 of you, here's a movie, do whatever you want with it.
She didn't even have the directors talk with one another, did she?
No. Abrams swears that he talked with Rian Johnson a lot. Does not show.
I don't believe that.
No, because there is no way that this movie follows up on The Last Jedi.
No.
No, this movie straight up ignores shit. Or just is like, oh yeah, that thing we told you in the last one? Never mind. Oh, Rey, your parents were no one. They were no one because they chose to be no one. You're actually the granddaughter of Palpatine.
Yeah, the Emperor from the original trilogy, he survives, and he apparently fucked someone, and that someone fucked someone, and gave birth to Rey.
When did he do this?
Did we mention this?
Did he do it when he looked regular in the prequels, or did he do it when he looked like how he looks in the original trilogy?
I feel like he would have done it while he was undercover as Senator. Did we mention that this podcast is not for children?
Also, spoilers. Put a spoiler alert in the title.
It should be evident if this turns out to be maybe an hour long or however long we go with this. Do it.
Yeah, so, yeah, like, let's get back into, after the title crawl, we see Kylo Ren.
Already a point in your favor.
Yeah, he's doing his Kylo Ren thing, he's slashing up some dudes, he's going for the Sith Wayfinder, even though that looks nothing like other Wayfinders in this series.
I'm just gonna call it a Sith PS. It's a Sith PS.
It looks more like a holocron, and I'm like, that's not a Wayfinder. It's like, I've been watching The Mandalorian every week. I know what a Wayfinder looks like. That's not a Wayfinder.
And
then he goes to the Emperor's planet to kill the Emperor because he's like...
No one will threaten my power this time. I'm just gonna let you threaten my power this time.
Yeah, no, and then he gets there, and then the Emperor's like, I have been every voice inside your head.
No, man, that's bullshit. That wasn't written in the Force Awakens. That wasn't in The Last Jedi. You just got added in at the last minute into the script.
Shut up and go with it.
Alright, fine.
Go. Kill Rey and I will give you my fleet.
Where'd you get the fleet?
Go with it.
Where'd you get the fleet?
Do it.
Alright, fine. Wait, why do you want me to kill Rey?
Because she's my granddaughter.
Then shouldn't you want me to either corrupt her to the dark?
She will threaten my power.
Why don't you just have me change her to the dark side? I can do it.
She will threaten my power.
Well, you're threatening my power.
Do it.
Fine. But wait, how are you the
Do it.
How are you the
Do it.
How are you the voices in my head?
Do it.
Is Snoke your love child?
No, I created Snoke.
That's bullshit.
Really? Well, just look at these pods, see? He's got two heads floating in these pods, see? I totally created him.
So we've jumped from Star Wars to Alien?
Shut up and go kill Rey.
But I want to
Do it.
Fine. That's essentially how that conversation went. Okay, minus all the ad-libbing we just did. That's how it should have been. Like, how are you alive? When did you have all this cloning technology? How the fuck is Rey your granddaughter?
It's like, no, I don't need an explanation for that. Because I can accept that. Before The Last Jedi came out, that was my own little fan theory. It's like, she's probably connected to Palpatine.
But Palpatine's dead.
Doesn't-
Apparently not!
I was going off the assumption the whole time he was dead during that fan theory. My whole theory was that Snoke was connected to him. That turned out to be true too, but
in the
not
most
in the way it
disappointing
should
way.
have been. Yeah, but then we cut to Rey, who's
Training with Leia.
training with Leia.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I like that. That it gives her a teacher.
You know that there's
It gives
actually...
Leia It lets us see Leia one last time because they had to repurpose footage of Carrie Fisher because she died in between filming of The Last Jedi and this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives Leia a nice little send-off.
Yeah. And it makes sense that she is Force sensitive.
Yeah, it makes sense that she would have trained with Luke at least a bit.
Yeah, because I forget which video game it is, but there's actually a DLC where you can fight Leia as a Jedi.
Is that one of the Force Unleashed?
I think that's Force Unleashed 2, where you invade the Wookiee planet or something. Either way, it makes sense that Leia is something akin to what a Jedi would be.
Yeah, she's the daughter of Darth Vader. Of course she is.
It would be even more. It would be even dumber if she wasn't Force sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, before that, we saw Finn and Poe go get information from some dude.
They light speed skip.
Yeah, they light speed skip, which is cool.
It's. I'm more astounded that someone didn't think to do that beforehand.
No, it's something that puts a lot of wear and tear on ships. It's a very dangerous thing to do.
Oh, you mean like the Holdo maneuver?
Yes.
Completely out of nowhere, just like that.
However, light speed skipping's a bit more in canon than anything else. And then they're like, we learned distressing news. Palpatine's back. But didn't the title crawl already say that you guys knew this?
Do it.
Well, and then Rey's like, in one of the Jedi texts it talks about Exegol, and there's a Wayfinder somewhere, even though it's Palpatine's Wayfinder, and he wasn't around that long.
It's gotta be connected to Darth Plagueis.
No, even Plagueis wasn't around that long ago.
It's gotta be connected to the Sith.
We gotta go find this Wayfinder. Let's go to different planets and
let's go find the Finder.
Let's go find somebody who can tell us where it is. Oh no, we gotta go find another thing.
No, we gotta go to another place now.
We gotta go get some information from someone else first. No, we can go find the Wayfinder. Yay!
No, but in betwixt all that, it's like, okay, no, we got captured. We had one of our guys died, but it turns out he's not dead. And then we got captured, and then I am the spy. I knew it!
Yeah. Hux had one cool moment ever, and then he just died.
The end.
Of Hux.
Yeah, Hux dies almost immediately after. It's like, they overpowered the gods, and they made me lead them to the ship. You're the spy. I had a feeling, like from the beginning, that Hux was the spy, because of A, how he was looking at Kylo at the end of The Last Jedi, and 2, the fact that they brought in another general to, like, compete with him.
Who's better than Hux ever was.
Who dies in a fiery explosion.
Just like all Empire dicks do.
Yeah, man. They fake Chewie's death, which didn't last long enough. Which you knew for a fact you can...
Yeah, they find a Sith dagger. It's got Sith texts written on it that tells them exactly where the Wayfinder holocron is.
Who the fuck made that anyway?
I don't know.
Why is that?
Why does it lead exactly to the wreckage of the Death Star?
And how does it lead to exactly where it would be in 40-year wreckage?
Nobody writes in Sith anymore, even in universe. Like, Sith is a dead language.
It's the Latin of the Star Wars universe.
Well, some good things happen throughout all this. Honestly, my favorite scene in the movie happens when Rey's in Kylo Ren's quarters and he's down on the planet and they do the Force connection with each other and they have a lightsaber battle through the Force connection. It's like, that's actually cool. That's awesome. That's something I've never seen in a Star Wars movie before.
Yeah, but then
And then he comes back to the ship, and he confronts Rey, and he's like,
You are Palpatine.
You are Palpatine's granddaughter. And then she's like, I must kill him. Like, immediately.
They were forcing the whole Darth Rey too hard.
Yeah, like, she's immediately just like, I must go kill my granddad. And I'm like, that's a very Sith thing to do.
It's way too soon. In addition to that, when Rey goes to the Death Star wreckage, she has something, I guess, a Force nightmare.
Yeah, she has like this little Force nightmare where she sees herself as a dark side user and then fights her for like half a minute.
And then they got CGI fangs coming out of Darth Rey,
which is retarded. The prequels never showed Anakin with fangs. That's a point to the prequels.
If anything, they should have just had her eyes flash the color of Sidious's. That would have been something. It's like, rah! Yellow eyes.
Roar, motherfucker, roar!
But instead we got, I'm a vampire.
And then Kylo grabs the holocron, crushes it. Like, the only way you're getting to Palpatine is through me now. Then they have a lightsaber battle.
Which, he was right, sort of. She wins underhandedly, which is also a very Sith thing to do.
Yeah, it's like, Kylo actually kind of kicks her ass.
Yeah. Until Leia.
Which is what should happen.
Until Leia passes on and distracts him.
And it's like, Mommy? And then Rey just stabs him with his lightsaber.
And then Force heals him.
Because they gotta fuck at some point.
But they don't.
And we'll get to that.
Yeah, but he was right. The only way Rey is getting to Sidious... No, not Sidious. Palpatine. Sidious is someone.
No, Sidious is Palpatine.
Oh, okay. The only way she's getting to Palpatine is through him. By stealing his ship. To which she just goes and crashes.
But before that, she goes and crashes the ship on Luke's island. Because she wants to go into exile and be a grumpy old hermit later in life too, apparently. She learned from the best.
She's gonna become like Toph and Korra. Like, what do you want? Get off my lawn!
Yeah, she throws the lightsaber into the wreckage to destroy it, and then Luke's Force Ghost catches it. And in one of the biggest middle fingers I've ever seen to a previous movie ever, he's like, a Jedi's weapon should be respected.
That made me think back to the prequels, where Obi-Wan constantly told Anakin, "This is your greatest tool. Make sure you don't lose it.
This weapon is your life.
Don't lose it." And then he proceeds to lose.
Sorry, Master. And then Anakin gets it destroyed later. Oh, come on.
No.
Obi-Wan's gonna kill me.
No, not only that, but Obi-Wan actually loses his saber in multiple duels.
He does.
Throughout the prequel trilogy.
He does, yes.
Hypocrite. But,
Remember, Obi-Wan, that tool of yours got kicked down a pit by Darth Maul.
Yeah. And you also lost it in your battle with Grievous, to where you had to use an uncivilized blaster to take care of the Sith Lord.
I'm pretty sure you lost it in your battle with Dooku in episode 2.
He probably did. No, wait.
No, he threw it to Anakin. Never mind.
He threw it to Anakin, and then Anakin proceeded to lose it. Yeah, he got his arm cut off. Or his hand. Wrist. Whatever. Anakin proceeded to lose it.
Damn it, Anakin!
That's my last one. I already lost the spare against
now I
Darth
gotta go
Maul.
make another one.
How are lightsabers made anyway?
No, there's actually a very interesting process to doing that. Like, lightsaber colors actually correspond to the
crystal?
No, the crystal you use corresponds to your training, like what you specialize in. Force, like blue is for the warriors, essentially. Green is for the more like we use it through the Force. We're more about the Force than just fighting and all that.
And red?
And red Sith.
Purple?
I don't know purple, actually.
Yellow.
Yellow is for the in-between blue and green. It is...
Wait, so...
it is a mixture of warrior and being one with the Force.
Wait, I thought green was the in-between between blue and Sith.
No.
Would that be black, then?
There is a there is a dark saber. I can't remember what that one means.
It looks cool, though.
It is cool.
Have you seen it in The Force Unleashed?
I have not seen it in The Force Unleashed. I've seen it in Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah, you can...
And it's really cool.
Yeah, you can collect it and actually wield a black saber throughout the game if you do a New Game Plus. I think.
Yeah, it looks cool and otherworldly, and it's awesome.
Yeah. It looks like if you, like, slash through somebody with it, they're gonna go all Mr. Negative on you. Where were we?
Lightsaber duel.
Right.
Kylo and Rey.
Yeah, then Kylo and Rey.
It's a fine duel.
A Jedi's weapon should be treated with respect. And then he goes and straight up gives Rey his O face as he Yoda lifts his plane out of the water.
No, but first he gives Rey Leia's lightsaber.
Oh yeah, I kept expecting Leia to be green.
No, to me it makes sense that Luke would be green, because especially throughout Jedi, you can tell that he's more about non-violence. The Force will lead me through this. I will
tell that to Luke as he
would, Father, and then he proceeds to then he proceeds to do that whenever Vader gets to him.
But then he regains
his cool.
And then he goes,
No, he regains his cool.
He regains it? Regains it? We have technology.
I have a lightsaber.
Where were we?
It worked well.
Oh, yeah.
No, it makes sense, because Luke understands that it's about the Force and the balance and all that, and Leia would be more warrior.
Yeah.
Because Leia's way better than her mom ever was. Oh, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. You want to know what Leia would have done in that situation? No, she would have shot him in the face.
Yeah, I love what's her name, but she's a...
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, I love Natalie Portman, but she was not good as Mrs. Skywalker.
Padme's just an idiot character. Even in Clone Wars, but she does some really stupid shit.
Who is more foolish? The fool or the fool that follows him?
Well, the fool that follows her is Jar Jar, so...
Did someone say the Mrs. name?
Get the fuck out, Jar Jar.
But you called me Jar Jar's.
Get out, Jar Jar.
But Jar Jar has a thing. And Jar Jar, just kidding. Jar Jar's a ghost. You killed Jar Jar in the last podcast. Misa so happy that Misa ghost, so now Misa can annoy you as long as Misa wants.
Let's go back to Rise of Skywalker.
Misa hate the Skywalkers.
Okay, you want to talk about the best scene in the movie? When Kylo is overlooking the waves on the Endor moon,
and then Han shows up as a memory, and Harrison Ford gets one of the easiest paychecks in his life.
That scene's great.
I want to know how much he charged to be in that movie again.
Yeah, that is the best scene in the movie because it shows how far Kylo has come.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. He would talk to the memory of his father.
Because they can't do anything with his mother anymore.
I mean, Carrie Fisher's dead.
Exactly.
Then, it's like, he literally, physically is the one who killed Han Solo.
Yeah.
So... and then they even repeat the dialogue from The Force Awakens, but it has a different result. And it's like, I love that kind of stuff. That's great. And then it leads into Rey going to face Palpatine.
like an idiot.
And then everybody follows her without a plan of attack.
No, they had a plan of attack. You! Lando,
go get people because you've barely been in this movie, but you're gonna survive everyone.
Oh, wait, before we get...
Hats off to Lando. He survived everyone.
Yeah, before we get to that, though, I just want to say that when Poe, Chewie, and Finn get back, and they make the plan as Poe and Finn are made co-generals, when Chewie hears about Leia's death...
No, I love that.
Yeah, his reaction to that, he gets over it real quick, though. Like, in the next scene we see him in, he's like, come on, Chewie, we need you.
Yeah, they don't give us time to breathe. Like...
It's like...
But just him breaking down crying when he hears Leia's gone.
Yeah, because...
It's like, that's the last of his friends.
Yeah.
It's like, Han's gone, Luke's gone, now Leia's gone. It's like, oh, I left his Lando.
And he's barely in this movie. And then he just magically How did he get to their base? How was he communicating with Leia before she died?
Wait, who?
Lando.
I guess he flew. I guess he managed to get to the
Falcon?
to get to the base.
No.
To be there for the final battle.
And bringing in the cavalry.
You know, the very small rest of the resistance for the rest of the last few minutes of the Last Jedi, they go to face Palpatine's fleet.
Salt.
It was like, they got to take out this tower, but the tower gets deactivated.
And then, lo and behold, the big Star Destroyer is now the beacon for everyone to go and practically destroy the universe at this point.
Meanwhile, Rey is just confronting Palpatine.
I will end you.
I'm so glad my granddaughter came home.
I will end you.
I haven't received any Christmas gifts from you.
You never gave me your address.
I'm pretty sure all my cards got lost in the mail.
You never gave me your address. You tried to kill me. Now I'm gonna kill you.
I didn't want you dead. I want you to kill me.
Well, I'm gonna kill... Wait, what?
Haven't you ever played Final Fantasy 13? This is basically that plan.
No, I've never played Final Fantasy 13.
You must kill me so that my spirit can go into you.
That's bullshit and you know it.
Sith powers.
Bullshit and you know it.
Look, Disney got rid of the other expanded universe. We don't have much to work on anymore. So just go with it, okay? I'm evil because I'm Palpatine.
Kylo, is that you in the back of my head?
Yeah, and then Kylo just shows up.
Yeah.
Where did he get the TIE fighter?
He probably stole it.
From where? He was stranded.
He probably called someone to come.
Planet.
He probably called someone to come pick him up. He then killed the person that picked him up, and he stole the ship.
Maybe.
That, or there was a really old, still functioning TIE fighter in the Death Star.
Bullshit.
Like the Sith powers. How else do you explain him getting on there? Or maybe he just force merged some sort of ship together.
I don't fucking... He gets there and he fights the Knights of Ren.
Equally useless.
Completely useless in this movie. They exist simply so Kylo can kill them at the end.
To which he does so with Rey's lightsaber as she passes it to him through the Force connection.
I mean, that was actually set up in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It's like, I like that stuff. Then he kills the Knights of Ren with the lightsaber, and then they team up, and they're about to go after Palpatine.
And then he absorbs their life essence, comes back to life, and then launches a Kamehameha wave-size Force lightning into the sky that should have blown up the ships, but instead it just overloads their systems.
Deactivates them or something.
They should have been blown up.
And then Rey's like, I can't do it. I can't beat him.
Be with me!
And then all the Jedi from ages past.
We're forgetting that Kylo gets tossed aside like a bitch.
Kylo gets tossed into a pit.
Like a bitch.
Like, be with
We
me.
know he's not dead, though, because he and Rey need to fuck.
And then all the Jedi speak through Rey's mind. All the past Jedi, like, you hear Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, you hear Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan, you hear Yoda, you hear Qui-Gon, you hear Anakin, you hear Ahsoka, you hear a bunch of different Jedi.
Did you hear Luke?
Yeah, you hear Luke.
Would that be the equivalent of a freaking spirit bomb or something?
Maybe. But then she stands up, she gets both lightsabers. Then Palpatine starts to try to blast her.
Power!
And she just blocks it, and it all goes back into him and disintegrates him. So this whole thing could have been avoided if Mace Windu had 2 lightsabers.
Essentially. This is all on you, Sam Jackson.
Damn you, Mace Windu. You should have grabbed one of the dead Jedi's lightsabers.
No, you have lost!
Come on there, Palpy. Eat your din-dins.
No.
I love that joke. I love that meme. He whines like a baby. It's like, come on, eat your vegetables.
No.
But he's dead now, and so is Rey. Did you notice that Finn is apparently Force sensitive too, or something?
Yes.
How is a stormtrooper Force sensitive?
I mean, anybody can be Force sensitive.
Even a stormtrooper?
Yes. Stormtroopers are regular people.
Well, they are now.
They have always been.
I thought they were clones before.
Yeah, in the prequels.
All right. Does that mean that Rey is going to train Finn to be a Jedi?
Maybe. I don't think we're ever going to see anything from it because they don't want anything else to do with this.
We're never going to see them get together.
No, we can't see them get together because Rey dies. She dies, and then Kylo comes up.
Sacrifices his life.
And he gives her his life force. But before he dies, they look at each other, and then they make out.
With one of the most awkward kisses in the series.
It's like, so here's the thing. I love their connection, and then that just that was just too much to me. It's like, if there's anything I loved in this movie, it was the connection between the two of them, all the conversations they had, all their screen time together, and then they kiss, and I'm like, God damn it!
They ruined it. And then they give us the biggest middle finger. Ben dies.
Yep. He doesn't get to go out and try to redeem himself.
No, we don't get
He
it.
doesn't get to live a life with Rey. Nothing like that. The best character in this whole trilogy just falls over dead.
We don't even get to see him as a Force ghost at the end. No. Everyone just parties. Poe, Finn, and Rey reunite, which I didn't even buy their friendship to begin with, outside Poe and Finn, because they were there with one another since the beginning. Finn never tells Rey how he feels about her, which we all knew was obvious.
Let's be honest, that's what they were going for.
Yeah, that's what a third of the people who watched this new trilogy were rooting for. A third was rooting for them, a third was rooting for Rey and Kylo, and then a third was rooting for Poe and Finn.
The Rey Kylo people won.
Yeah.
Hashtag Reylo.
And then she takes both Luke and Leia's lightsabers, buries them in the Tatooine sand.
Yeah, she buries them outside of Luke's farm.
Yeah, and then...
And
then Meemaw shows up.
Yeah, and then show them all...
Who are you?
I'm Rey.
Rey who?
Rey Skywalker.
Do you think it would have been better or worse if that image of Luke and Leia there would have been their young selves?
That would have been worse.
Probably would have been worse.
No, because that's one thing I really hated in Return of the Jedi Special Edition when we got the Force Ghost of Vader.
It was Hayden
and
Christensen.
it was Hayden Christensen.
We never got to see Hayden Christensen in this movie.
Apparently they wanted him to be in it. I mean, he voice cameoed.
That would have been his best performance, and you know it.
That is his best performance in a Star Wars movie.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Well, then you are lost.
I would have gone with stop being a bitch, Annie. Fuck you, suck my dick, Obi.
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
You underestimate my power.
No, don't try it.
Run!
You were the chosen one. It was said you would destroy the Sith, not join them. Bring balance to the Force.
Fuck you!
Not leave it in darkness.
I hate you!
You were my brother, Anakin.
And you were my sister!
I loved you.
I hate you! Ah!
Then it ends with Rey in the sunset.
Because iconic shot from New Hope.
They played this shit way too safe.
There was too fan servicey most of the time.
They were banking too heavily on nostalgia. And it shows. They suffered.
Because here's the problem. Despite the bitching, there are great things in this movie. There are so many elements of greatness. This could have been awesome.
Mostly Kylo.
But it is surrounded in so much nonsense.
Mostly Palpatine. The nonsense outweighs the good, and it makes it nearly impossible to appreciate this movie.
It's like, this movie, I'm not going to call this movie terrible because, again, there are things that were great. I loved all the stuff with Kylo.
Yeah. Kylo is the best thing in this new trilogy, but that is essentially all it had going for it after The Force Awakens.
Because there's no plot.
There
is no through line of where they were going to go with this. There's nothing here that we needed.
You even said it yourself. Because of the flop that this movie was, this new trilogy is somehow worse than
It's pointless. There's nothing new here. At least the prequels had an idea, had a story they were telling. This ends in the exact same spot it ended in Return of the Jedi.
And they're making...
Hell, it makes it worse because it ruins Vader's redemption.
Nothing new from Kylo. Nothing except the old stuff.
No, the only new thing was Kylo.
Yeah, that's why I go back. That's why I go back to Kylo in The Last Jedi every single time. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. And the past did die. But the dead speak!
I like that. I think that's a good way to go with it.
It is a good way to go with it. The past died, but the dead are speaking. They clearly are. Way too much nonsense, way too much nostalgia. They played it too safe with nostalgia and fan service that they sacrificed what could have been a good story that they started in The Force Awakens. Of course there's going to be nostalgia in The Force Awakens. They're starting a new story. The Last Jedi was nonsense, but it was.
No, The Last Jedi made sense. It wasn't nonsense.
It was going
It just
somewhere.
wasn't. It just wasn't as good as it could have been. It was.
The Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker's just nonsense.
It sucks. It might get worse in my head, but as for right now, I know exactly where this lands on my list. So, Isra, what are your thoughts?
She didn't see it.
So, Isra, what are your thoughts? The Rise of Skywalker.
That movie you didn't watch.
Sure?
You heard from here? Sure. Pass the movie. Well, now we've got something more important to do.
No, here's the thing. I'm almost tempted to say Star Wars is dead. That Disney has killed it.
But they have The Mandalorian.
But it's not. Because they are doing new things. Other people are doing new things because they have ideas. Like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have with The Mandalorian. Or Jedi Fallen Order. That was great. Hell, I'm incredibly interested to see what they do with the Obi-Wan show, because that is all being done by one person. One person is creating and directing the whole show, and it's the person who has directed the 2 best episodes of The Mandalorian so far.
With Ewan McGregor.
Yes, it stars Ewan McGregor. And they're going to take 3 years off from doing movies, and when they come back, it will be a new series with new ideas made by one person with a vision.
It's safe to say that Star Wars is dead on the big screen for now.
For at least 3 years to see what they do with it.
And then the dead will speak again.
If they make an episode 10 ever, I'm fucking done.
With the movies. They'll just go back to The Mandalorian and the Obi-Wan show. And the original trilogy.
And Jedi Fallen Order.
And the prequels.
And basically all the video games. That's the Old Republic.
But mostly The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda.
I mean, that's my favorite stuff that's coming right now. My favorite Star Wars expanded stuff, period, is Knights of the Old Republic. Specifically the second one. Which is a way better deconstruction of Star Wars than The Last Jedi could ever hope to be.
Is that it?
That's it.
Alright. Now we have something more important to do. We will probably won't do a podcast next week because I think it's Christmas next week.
Christmas is on Wednesday.
Yeah, but I don't know what we will be doing.
We'll figure
next
something
week.
out.
We'll see what happens. Bye now.